Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working on getting our defensive situation back up to scratch. We're very close on that. Oh yeah, we've still got a few of these upgrades going, and we need to hop back into here and mute the advisor because we don't need to be informed while we're doing this that our ships have been made superior every time. That is not something that is currently required. So we're going to go ahead and hit this reinforce fleet button, but we're also working on upgrading these guys to citadels so that we can build our Titan assembly yards. Both of those will be required, and we'll reinforce this fleet here. Actually, how many corvettes is this? This is a fair number of corvettes. I'm actually going to cancel this. Reason being that I'm a little concerned about our current naval cap. I don't want to exceed it by too much. And let's go ahead and go for, say, mega cannons for right now. That'll be fine. I'm going to avoid robotic workers since we have an AI uprising currently brewing. But what we can do is we can go into the Sol Station and we can build a Federation Tsurugi class corvette. Excellent. And that's exactly what we're going to look to do. That is slightly more expensive than the Megacampaign class cruiser, or the Megacampaign class corvette rather. But let's take a look at that, and we will get ourselves a Federation fleet started here. So that'll be fine. And we can control 2 Titans. I don't know if the Federation has a cap on that. Does it? I don't know that it does. So this fleet here, we're going to hop into the fleet manager, and we're going to add in a Savannah class, as well as a Patroclus class, an Imperius class, and an Excalibur class. We're going to do the same 5, 10, 20, 44. Exactly the same that we have set up in our current setup, and we are going to begin filling out that Federation fleet. That will cost a lot in terms of alloys. There's no doubt about that. We can turn our advisor back on, and so we shall. Wonderful. Nothing to do on our stations, or rather on our colonies just yet. But we are going to start thinking about going after some other recruits for the Ethiopian healthcare system. Of course, I use the term recruit loosely because they're going to be forcibly integrated into our healthcare system. And it's going to be glorious. So that'll be just fine. Now this is going to get plus 30 overall, so we're going to be at 278 out of 252. That's going to be a lot, right? And we're also going to need to up our second fleet. We're going to be pretty short on our naval cap. That said, our Federation fleet will help out with that pretty dramatically, and we're going to continue working our way through the Federation and try to take full control of the Federation soon enough. We're not going to be able to do it just yet, but that'll be fine. We're going to level up to level 3 fairly soon, and that will be absolutely wonderful. When is the next Federation succession change? When does that say? We know it's every 40 years right now. These progenitors want a copy of our brain scans to put into an endangered species preserve, and we'll go ahead and send them a pop of the long-dead Thorquel species. Excellent. That'll be fine. Get them some healthcare. So where do we actually see? We can see that these guys have higher diplomatic weight than we do, and that's fair enough. We haven't really been focusing our diplomatic weight too much. How many envoys do we have in here right now? We currently have a number. We're going to move this guy into our Federation, as well as Rupert Evans Jr. into our Federation, so that we can bump up our cohesion just a little bit here. Actually, it's maxed. It is indeed maxed, and we can actually pull 4... We can pull 4 envoys out of here and still be going up in cohesion. So that is very, very good. Now, we could switch over to challenge. It's currently set to random, and the current term ends Oh, okay, not for a while yet. Not for another 30 years. So we don't need to worry about the current term ending for a while. Sounds good. The Tazikians have joined another federation. Sure, that is fine. And we are going to continue to work on these fleets. 8 out of 44 corvettes here, currently. And for now, we are going to continue working on the Federation fleet only. Our personal fleets, we don't want to increase too much right now because we're at our naval cap. I want to double check that these are anchorages. Yeah, they are. We're going to want additional anchorages, but I don't want to exceed our starbase cap just yet either. So for now, this will be just fine. Okay, a member of the galactic community has been joined, or rather has joined. We don't have any more crisis events happening just yet, but that's fine. That will probably be something that happens a little bit later on. We do want to have additional... oh, hello. Forge World here. I was going to say we want additional administrative cap, and that's something that we can work on. We need a job on this Forge World, though, and we will go ahead and create ourselves an industrial district. The Particle Lance here has finished up, and we are going to grab, I think... honestly, this one. It's the cheapest one. I'm not too enthused about anything there, so this will be fine. Building slots +1 are kind of whatever, honestly, unless they allow you to exceed this cap, which I highly doubt. I highly, highly doubt that they allow you to exceed that cap. So that's something to think about for now, is what we want to do with those building slots on some of those worlds, but I don't really see anything as of this exact moment. How are we doing on these Citadel upgrades? We are still quite a long ways away. So we will continue to work on our Federation fleet. I don't think these guys can contribute to the Federation fleet, although maybe they can. But they don't seem to be. And I'm not surprised by this. The Federation fleet, after all, will be our own. And at some point, we're going to want to bump our Federation, or rather, our fleet contribution up to high. Which will be a very good thing. In fact, they're in favor of this. I like it. They're not in favor of this, of course. And they're in favor of medium centralization. Yeah, everyone would be able to construct to the Federation fleet, but right now we're on only leader. And actually, I don't think we need to have it on only leader. But I'm going to leave it there. It'll be fine. It will be fine. So this is the economic power here. You can see our economic power is below the Talakur League, but that's okay. We are in charge of this federation, and we intend to remain that way. And I meant that as ominous as it sounds. Exactly as ominous as it sounds. We're going to construct on a Forge World there. That'll be fine. Computational overclocking. Our researchers have managed to isolate the cause behind the recent spikes in our supercomputer clocking frequencies. It appears that the artificial general intelligence systems for the units in question have been overclocking their processing hardware in order to expand local machine learning algorithms beyond intended capacities. Some of our scientists have expressed considerable excitement towards this unexpected improvement in AI learning behavior, citing the possibility of future recursive self-improvement. Others, however, are concerned that the added CPU load may cause future instabilities and undesired software outcomes. The benefits may outweigh the risks. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Okay, what do we want here? Honestly, it's just kind of neutral between the two of those. It could be either. Ooh, element 0. Yep, we're going to be able to exploit that. That's great. That's going to get us some of this over here. So we're going to start our construction ship immediately moving to Kerbal. Fantastic. Our edict has expired. We're going to re-up that. That gets us, of course, additional society research speed. Wonderful. And we're going to continue to fill out the Federation fleet. So that's a bunch of corvettes and destroyers queued up. That is wonderful. The Federation fleet is up to 9.3k. And that will be great. We're going to continue working on all of that. Of course, in order to completely max out our fleets, we need 40,000 naval cap here. Or rather, 40,000 alloys. It's kind of insane. Our attempts at assisting the development of national machine learning algorithms have been partially successful. With a few minor adjustments, we've been able to replicate the earlier spike in computational efficiency. Though our AIs have not yet developed recursive self-improvement, their enhanced learning faculties will be a benefit to us. Okay, so plus 5% research speed for 7 years, at the end of which, problems I'm sure will ensue. Several of our mechanized consumer goods manufactories have experienced a recent boom in production efficiency. Citing an unanticipated rise in precision and effectivity among our factory machinery, administration reports these benefits will be felt as lowered goods prices for our populace. Resources from jobs plus 5%. That's actually really huge. That is absolutely enormous. And we're very happy about that. Very, very happy. So we are going to continue to become the crisis when we can, but in the meantime, we will continue to give everyone who desires it for now healthcare. But eventually, healthcare will come for them, even if they don't want it. Perhaps especially if they don't want it. The healthcare will be by force if necessary. We need housing on this tech world, and we will go ahead and do exactly that. We are also having plenty of jobs here, so no concerns on that front, just the housing. This industrial world does require additional jobs, and we're going to continue to do that. So that will be just fine. We are running out of districts on this world. Now, yes, we want to extend our deal. Do we have the ability to increase the world size with a decision here? No, not yet. That's something that comes later, or perhaps that's an Ascension perk? Or perhaps they've removed it with the latest patch. It's hard to say. So the Sol Station is going to start getting a Titan assembly yard. There we go. The Tadasca Station will be slightly behind. Our Federation has leveled up. They want to move to Medium Federation. I was going to ask them if they wanted to. But yes, we are definitely going to do that. That vote has succeeded, and we are going to move to Medium Contribution here, I think. That would definitely allow us to build a second Federation fleet. And I think that's pretty solid. This requires succession type to be strongest. Okay. Depending on which succession power is chosen. Okay. It's reasonable. And I would like to go to diplomatic over here. We would need favors to pull that in. Okay. We should do free migration, though. This is definitely something that we are interested in. We vote yes on that. And that has passed. Separate treaties should be prohibited, but we're not in a position to do that right now. We'll run the Surveyor and get plus 5 physics research to Ibleria over here. That's great. And we're going to grab that after we get our 0 finished up. That'll be just fine. We will continue to pour alloys into the Federation fleet for right now. Now, I'm not that interested necessarily in moving us to here. We cannot change laws in this category for 1,600 days, so we actually can't bump that up just yet. That'll be fine. Oh, we're on fastest speed. We should be on fast.
Breakthrough achieved.
There we go. Mega cannons, fantastic. And mega structure restoration wouldn't be the worst. We're going to grab the mega engineering because we do want to start being able to work on mega structures. That'll be a very useful thing for us to do eventually, but right now we're still not necessarily in the position of being able to handle that. Although it would be a good way to spend our influence. So that would be solid. The Tadasca station should be about done with its Citadel upgrade, yes. And we're going to immediately start building a Titan assembly yard
Construction complete.
Fantastic.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Okay, so we can now exploit that resource. Fleet command limit going up isn't actually that helpful. And we're also currently at our Federation fleet cap here. Maximum naval capacity reached. Now, why is this the maximum? Is the question. What is causing that cap? If we increase to medium, does that increase the cap? I have no idea. So that's definitely something to think about. There are currently 4 fleets here. What? Hang on a moment. Oh, are these all merging in? Yeah, those are all merging in. Okay, that's fine. No problem there. And I think we'll go for the Hyper Entertainment Forums is really more of a reroll. But we'll build our 0 gathering stations over here, over here, over here. I believe we have one up over here. No, that is dark matter. Okay. Then we're going to come down from there to Iberia and build our research station there. That'll keep our construction ship busy for a while. And that'll be just fine. That will be just fine. Leveraged privateering is reducing our naval cap. We don't really care that much about the galactic community, but that is hurting us a little bit. So that's definitely something to note. And if we were to max these 2 fleets out, that would increase us by like 127, which would put us so far over our naval cap that it would be basically unaffordable. So we definitely need to wait on this. So that is why we're putting our resources into the Federation fleet for right now. That said, we should probably think about building up defenses, and we're just going to build Farpoint-class defense platforms in each of these locations for now. Now, filling up all of these bastions won't be that bad, actually. Habitability modification, sure. Ecological adaptation is pretty good. We're going to take that just in case. Just checking up through here, nothing to be done. Okay, sounds good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bastions here that need defensive platforms. This one only can have up to 12. It's not a citadel. That would be an important thing. So rather than the command center, we may want to consider putting in a defense grid supercomputer. But actually, I think I'm not going to. I think I'm not going to do that right now. But this bastion will need to be upgraded to a citadel, and so it is. Fantastic. That did spend down our alloys pretty heavily, but we can queue up a few more Farpoint-class defense platforms. One roughly every 2 months is what we can get. So, currently, this is our traditions here. And that's fine. For diplomacy, we can grab +3 unity from embassies, trust cap and trust growth. Or we could hop into a new one here. Mercantile. Clerks producing more trade value. More merchant job. Trade value plus 10%, market fee minus 10%. That's pretty good, actually. Adaptability, food output. Habitability increase. That's not bad at all. This is more about defenses, and I tend to not rely too heavily on defenses, believing in a good offense instead. I say as we're spending a lot of resources on our defensive structures. Honestly, I think I would rather take supremacy. This is actually really good. This is actually really good. So we're going to adopt that. Fantastic. That allows us to build up our naval cap another plus 20. So the first fleet here is where that's going to go. Now this is plus 30, right? That's okay. We're going to go ahead and put this into the first fleet. That'll be fine. I would also like to get additional starbases. Does that get us additional starbase limit? Damage versus starbases. Ship fire rate by 10% is huge, actually. Fleet command limit by 20. Okay. That's not exactly useful right now, but it's okay, I guess. This Forge World needs jobs, and so an industrial district it is. And we're just continuing to pump out the alloys at this point. And that's great. We're very, very happy about that. The first fleet I would like to get the Titan for. How much is the Titan? I mean, we can't make them yet, but the Titan would be about 3,000 alloys. Honestly, that's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. We'll save up for that. And that'll go into the first fleet as kind of the top priority for right now. So that'll be fine, and our next Unity point will come in 63 months, and we will take the fleet logistics core, for sure. And then beyond that, maybe we're interested in getting more starbase cap? Perhaps. Tachyon sensors, though, that'll be very solid for us. We definitely do want tachyon sensors. 92% done on those Titan assembly yards. And we have enough now to queue up a Titan. So that is fantastic. As soon as that builds, we will be ready to queue up that Titan. The once proud nomadic warrior culture of the Natraxi is no more. Forces from the Tazikian Foundation. These guys over... Where's the Tazikians? I forget where they are. Regardless, they've destroyed the last of the massive space stations that house the majority of their population. Refugees from their surviving civilian population have scattered across the galaxy. Although some Natraxi pirate and mercenary fleets may still be unaccounted for, the loss of their space dwellings is a devastating blow that they cannot recover from. This puts a definite end to their raiding. Indeed. Okay, sounds good. We're going to queue up that Titan in just a moment here.
Construction complete.
There we go. 1,800 days on that. But the formidable class Titan will be ready to go. This Titan assembly yard, this one is still 155 days out, so we'll give that a bit. Fantastic. Nothing to be done on our colonies at this exact moment. I would like to queue up additional defenses over here. Unfortunately, we don't really have the alloys that we need to get all of this good to go.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Ecological adaptation has finished up, and I think we will go for... Was really hoping to see additional starbases or additional naval cap. Alas, we have neither of those. We're going to do hydroponics farming as a reroll. That'll be done in just 4 months. Absolutely no problems there. We're just going to continue fishing for the techs that we want at this point. How are we doing in regard to these guys at this point? Equivalent, equivalent, equivalent. Okay. That's fine. We're not too concerned about that. The Tadaska station is going to be done with its Titan assembly yards in just 40 days, and we're actually not going to have the alloys to immediately queue up a Titan. Which is perhaps slightly awkward, but not really. All we really need is 1 more month tick, and we're going to have that very soon after. So we'll queue this up just as soon as the August month tick here happens.
Construction complete.
There we go.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Wonderful. Hydroponics farms have finished up. We're going to go for Energy Siphon here as another reroll. None of these are what we're looking for. Only 2 months on that one. Okay, sounds good. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we will continue strengthening our Federation. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.